Amy Stevens, Kip and Way Vet Surgery Cobar, and my supervisor is Prue Chambers. So we're just doing another mock with Freya. So demonstrating on how we would apply first aid to a fracture or dislocation. So Prue has given me a scenario of a fracture of the left forearm.
Yep.
So on the radius here, in some area. So when the client rings to book the animal in, I would get all the information, how it's happened, whether it been, run over, jump the fence, all of that, because those sorts of things may affect on what drugs to be given, like sedation, because you don't know what underlying things there are if it's been run over. So she's come in notably lame and holding this leg up. It wasn't swinging, but we suspect that she has a fracture in this general area. And the vet, so what we would do is, decide whether, see how painful she is, whether sedation is appropriate for her case, and administer that before going ahead with any bandaging and causing any further pain. Yep. Okay, so going to demonstrate how to put a Robert Jones bandage on.
Yep.
Now obviously with any sort of bone injury there is no way to know for sure until there is an x-ray done, but as we suspect there is something, that's what we're going to do to provide as much support as we can in the meantime.
Yep.
Yep.
Prior to putting on a bandage?
So prior to putting on the bandage, would check the leg for any open wounds, would have a muzzle on the dog because it's going to be painful, and would have somebody holding the dog, but we have no free hands. So yeah, check for any open wounds that could be on the leg before bandaging. So this dog, the vet has already administered some pain relief, so she's nice and relaxed. So I'll go ahead with the bandage. I'm just using a few of our dribs and drabs to use them up. So go over the foot and around. And continue up, making sure there's padding under that dew claw there.
Yep.
So we don't rub against the leg and cause any further discomfort.
Mm-hmm.
And not too tight, but just keeping it, just in the shape of the leg. Wadding always looks terrible until there is conforming. And this one just provides extra support to the limb until we're able to get an x-ray done.
The other thing that should be happening while there is a bandage being put on?
Yep. So someone else would be holding the dog and holding the limb in the correct position.
Yep.
Yep. So you're not having to struggle with the end of the foot.
Yep. And you're also not wobbling around the fracture.
Not wobbling around that fracture. You're keeping it nice and still.
So normally with your Robert Jones's bandage,
Yep.
Obviously that's not thick enough.
Okay.
I said obviously that's not thick enough. So you would normally...
You would use the wadding, the conforming normal bandage.
Yep.
And then tense plast over that. So 4 different layers.
Yep.
So we'll go a lot thicker with the wadding, but I didn't want to open up a new roll because we'll just chuck this one out afterwards. So whenever you do it, you would use a new roll for the dog.
Yep. Why is it important to start where you're at the bottom of the bottom? Yep.
It improves circulation, and you want to keep it the same tightness.
Yep.
As firm the whole way up, and have that nice and even to prevent any hindrance to the circulation.
And if you suspected the fracture in obviously this part of the leg,
Yep.
how far would you go up?
You would go up to here.
Yep.
I've stopped a little bit short because I was running out of body.
Yep.
So you would finish that one.
And then what would be the last one you would put on there?
So the last one would be tensoplast. Cutting 2 toe pads first, going one way and then the other.
Yep.
And then going up with the tensoplast just like this.
Yep.
And it keeps it quite firm.
Yep. If we were just, like obviously if the dog was going to require x-rays in about 2 hours' time,
Yep.
would you really go with your tensoplast?
No, because you're only going to be taking that off, then you would have to cut all of those other bandages off.
Yep.
So you would pull up out this one.
Yep.
Okay, so after we've got that all bandaged and supported, we would then do a physical exam on the dog. So checking everything from clitoral mucous membrane, skin tenting, starting from the head, working all the way back, checking the whole body for any further wounds, cuts or scrapes. Yeah. So then that way, you know, the vet knows. You can mark anything in the history and the vet knows later on if she's going to do surgery of anything to be aware of.
Yeah. If before we would give a sedation, obviously this dog's not sedated, it's just
Relaxed.
just relaxed. It's used to being
You
used.
happy to be in the aircon?
Before we go ahead and give anything a sedation, always what is done prior to any medications given to the dog?
So it would be on fluid. They would have nice hydration.
Yep.
So the vet would have already given her a clinical exam before the sedation.
Yep.
But now that we've just done that, we want to assess her for any more signs of pain, see, you know, what her odds are doing now.
Yep.
Before we pop her in a cage.